Hey, how you doing, guys? This is Richie. Marshal Law, #2. Second part in the 6-book miniseries from Epic Comics, Marvel Comics. Kevin O'Neill, Pat Mills. We did issue #1 last week. And more of the same madness. Just, wow. This book continues to blow me away. And I had read it before, but I haven't read it in years, many years. So this issue this is volume 1, #2, February of 1988, this came out. And Kevin O'Neill, more of the same. Crazy costume design. Marshal Law, he's a super-powered hero hunter. And he'll say, I'm a hero hunter, I hunt heroes. Haven't found any yet. Says that every issue in the beginning. So, he's at the police precinct and he's caught some super-powered guys. So the heroes have gone crazy. They were developed by Dr. Shock to fight in the big war. So this is post-apocalypse, but not nearly as bad as most post-apocalypse stories. This is chapter 2, Evolution. So there's a serial killer, superpowered serial killer out there. What is it, Sleeper Man? And he rapes and kills women who look like a certain superhero who's dead, which I believe was someone else's girlfriend, but we'll get into that as we go on. The plot thickens as we go on. And just look, man, look at all the little detail in there. I wonder how big the original art for these pages was, because he really gets a lot of minute detail in there, and these are small panels. What is it, 6-panel? Like an odd-shaped grid, especially on the bottom here. So he says, because a man is the best weapon for fighting in the jungle. Vietnam taught us that, and we weren't going to make the same mistake again. We just made different ones. So he says when he got home, from the war, he became a hero called the Vet. And he tried to sort out other vets on the principle it takes a vet to catch a vet. Then the city offered him a job as like an official cape catcher. Best to look after your own. So now they give us a shot of what he looks like without his costume and his mask on. Because he says, I'm also trying to be a normal person. I'm trying to be Joe Gilmore, unemployed, blue-collar worker living in the inner city. The inner city is controlled by superhero gangs who still think they're in the zone. And here it is. It looks like they're just beating up on people in the street. He says it's not easy. Sure, it's not. So he has a girlfriend. And he says it was one of these war surplus hero Commissioner McLaughlin believed was the Sleep Man, the psycho who's raped and murdered 5 women because they were dressed like the siren Celeste. She's engaged to Colonel Kane, the public spirit. Now, the public spirit, you'll see later on, kind of shady. He gives me like Homelander vibes. My own #1 suspect because of his insatiable sexual appetites that lethal physique. And my pathological dislike of the son of a bitch. Sure, he looked clean-cut, respectable, but you can't judge by appearances. If you did, you'd say I was a rapist. And here we go. Just come out of a firefight when I first heard him use that line of BS. I remember thinking, come down to earth and dare with us. Now he had come down and maybe dared his mighty thing. So this is his girlfriend. And she's I guess she's a protester. I guess, what would she would be called a liberal fighting fascism. What's the point of getting a job in the media when we keep criticizing it all? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, God, you're surrounding me like my parents. So they're arguing back and forth. And you're going to the Superdome tomorrow to mount a protest about her and all those other jerks dressed up in their ridiculous costumes. Should be a good laugh. Now, she's going to dress up as the superhero woman that Sleep Man has been murdering. Like, does that make any sense? Like, but you know, sometimes these type of people, they get a little crazy with their protesting and their belief systems. And he says to her, they're just going back and forth. And she goes, the idea of making it with a masked man revolts me. Now, he's martial law, but she doesn't know that. A lot of superheroes can't help it. They just are what they are, you know, but they don't have to live like that. So he flat out asks her, what about the guy who hunts them down, martial law? And she says, that fascist pig, that's even worse. Anyone who wears a costume like that's got to be gay, she says. Look at his face. So he keeps his cool. He loves the girl, you know, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. So they do their thing. And here's the protest that she's attending. People are dressing up in costumes and, you know, sticking it to the man. There's also a recruiting booth, I guess, to make more of those Dr. Shock superheroes. Oh, no, wait a second. But you have to draw the line somewhere. At Super Life Laboratory, they've thrown away the ruler. Most unbelievable of all was Dr. Shock himself. Despite immigrating to the States in his youth, he still spoke with a sinister East European accent. That's Dr. Shock. There was a model village from the zone where kids could dress up as screaming eagles and swoop down through the jungle, blasting out everything they saw. So the kids are playing. I think this is like a flashback, this part right here. It brought back memories of Ghost Mountain, White Bone Road. In a single day by her dancing, blah, 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 she inflames, blah, blah, blah. Damning the souls God has redeemed at such a cost. Evening Marshal. So the father's there, and he's praying. And pretty much telling everybody you're going to be damned to hell. She's nothing special, honestly. What do you see in her, Marshal? So these are his compadres at the police station. She's just like one of those replicas out of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They can't cut the grass around here in case the pods are lying in wait for her. They may be mother, but they're disgusting Celeste. Blah, blah, blah. I'm working about it, Marshal. I'm just letting it annoy me. Sure, did you get that file on the public spirit? So, Marshal Law has got it in for the public spirit. He knows there's something wrong. Public spirit had a girlfriend before. She drowns in front of him. This is what they're explaining right here. And then he goes on a space trip. This trip takes 2 years to go do what he's got to do in space, but in Earth time, 25 years passed. So Marshal Law thinks he killed her so he could go on that trip, and she was pregnant. Here he is. This is like a flashback 25 years ago. That's his old girl. She drowns. He's a super being. He couldn't save her from drowning. But anyway, I love the way Kevin O'Neill does these skies, man, with this coloring. I wonder what he uses for that. Now, this is before computer coloring, or maybe computer coloring was just starting around this time. Maybe not, though. So who knows what he was using. That's the ship. So Marshal Law, when he gets back, is waiting for him. He's about to do a press conference. He says, I'll confess that I've been a little afraid to suggest what I'm doing, but I'm more afraid not to. So he leads them in a minute of silent prayer. And then all the groupies are hooting and hollering for him. And he's putting on a good act, and the people are loving him. So Marshall comes out with, I had a question for the cult. Is there anything you're not capable of? He says to him. He says, well, Marshall, let me answer that by adopting John Wayne. Just give me a good cause. There ain't nothing I can't lick. He goes, nothing. Now he's kind of being a jerk. Have you discovered Atlantis? Can you move Earth out of its orbit? Do you have any super animal or insect senses? What about moving through solid objects? You must have at least have an X-ray vision. And then he says to him, well, can you read this? And it says, do you go around with a bag over your head raping women? And look at his face. So he was able to read that. And I mean, he's pushing him hard now, you know. Is it true your first fiancée drowned? Yes, but I failed to see. And you were with her at the time? And he goes, the truth of the matter is, that's what I want to find out, he says. Our greatest superhero couldn't carry out a simple sea rescue? I searched for her for hours. It was a terrible tragedy. A very convenient one, he says. Because if she'd lived, you could never have gone on that star mission. Because when you returned, she would have been twice your age. The storm caused magnetic irregularity, which must have affected her flying. Only her body was never found to check. I'm not sure what you're insinuating, Marshall, but I loved her. He goes, not if she was carrying your child. So Marshall's really sticking it to him. You may have loved her, but you loved success even more. You had to satisfy your own ruthless ambition, your desire to get to the top, to the stars, no matter what the cost, even if it was murder. Now he's going hog wild on them, and they're starting to get mad. And he gets in his face. And he takes Marshall's gun, crushes it. And sure enough, they start going at it. Well, and his friends start attacking him. And Marshall says, no one's above the law. And they get him, start beating him up. But Marshal Law is pretty tough, and he throws one of them out of a window, beats down the other one, beats up another one. It's because I care. These great 6-panel page here. And there's his girlfriend at the protest. And she's dressed up like that woman. Sure enough, she says, all the people she's with are just talking nonsense. And she's getting fed up. So she decides that's it, you know. I'm out of here. Damn students, at least you know where you are with dirty old men. And she says to herself, where the hell am I? She's trying to leave. And boop, there he is. With his claw. He goes, and his usual line, I'm bacteria. And she's saying, bad things never happen to me. She's going full-blown panic now that she sees him. And he says, I am the lowest form of life. I am a superhero. Please, at least take off your mask. And he says, very well. Then, look at the tongue in her mouth. She's having a rough night. And she still can't believe this is happening to her. And he says, I am the sleep man. And she goes, I'm that poor girl down the road. And he says, how I envy those I send to sleep, for I can never sleep again. And he's doing what he does. So all these women, never to me, never to me. And I know she's on the way out. And he says, I cannot bear this guilt much longer. And he's done. And he gets caught. Some of the security guards see him. And he jumps up out of there, and he had killed some other guards, and he lets loose all these psycho superheroes. Alert status 1, mass breakout from the Psycho Silo 7. And these are all crazy superheroes that he just let out into the neighborhood. Hitler, Hernandez, the betrayer, scapegoat. Scapegoat's a paranoid schizophrenic. Great. Slugfest, Grim Graham, Blue Murder. We must all share in the cleansing. And the poor girl, there she is. She's dead. She's ripped up. Marshal Law comes by and sees what's going on. He says, sleep, man, they let the loons out. And he said, what do he look like? He said, it looked like he needed Clearasil real bad. Girl, he did's over there. And he looks and he says, oh, man, he knows now it's his girl. And he says, he will hunt me down now. He will hunt us all down. He will not rest until he has found us and gave us what we so deserved. Some say punishment is not the answer. Man, so here he is. He's on the scene. We should be shown sympathy and understanding. People should pray for us. This is the sleep man talking. He prays for us. He prays we all go to hell. And here's Marshal Law going up against all the creeps that just got released from that silo. And boom, he got a hole blown right through him. And there's some of these guys got laser beams. This is just a crazy, crazy comic. It's a little hard to follow. It's very wordy, but it's worth it. It's worth to sit. You got to read it like twice. But it's like a gag, man. It's a gag on modern superhero books, you know. But it's ultra violent. The coloring is beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. Pat Mills does a really good job. It's just an excellent book. I can't wait to go through all the other pages. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's Marshal Law number 2 in the 6-issue miniseries. And coming up, some more Marshal Law. So, I'll catch you on the next one.